Person one loves person two. Guess what? Shenanigans ensue. Person one hates person two. Guess what? Still shenanigans ensue. Person one fake dates person two. Guess what? You guessed it. Shenanigans ensue. Co-host one reports to co-host two. The name of the show? Shenanigans ensue. Yeah. Hello, I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Jane, and welcome to Shenanigans Ensue.
A podcast where you have a cocktail dress in your trunk?
I'm not an animal.
Slay.
Each episode will watch a rom-com and discuss its merits as a member of the rom-com genre.
We'll cover well-worn classics, hidden gems, and everything in between.
We'll give you our unsolicited opinion on every trope, caper, and flim-flam the film used, or maybe abused.
And of course, the shenanigans!
Yay! Welcome to our 60th episode Listener's Choice Special.
Yay! And you all picked something I truly love.
Yay!
Which is
Crazy Rich Asians. Yay!
Excellent choice.
Well done.
I will actually say that this is one of the few films in recent history that I actually watched in the movie theater. I don't go to the movie theater practically at all anymore, like once or twice a year.
Yeah. I used to go all the time.
Right? And this was one of the ones I went to see.
I mean, it's a good one.
I saw this, and the one that I saw before it was Moana. And, like, that was it for, like, those 2 years or something.
I actually saw this film on a plane going to Singapore, which was really cool.
Yay! I love that. It's honestly perfect.
I mean, I did do it intentionally, I will say. So I was like, oh, this is fitting. I should do this.
Perfect.
Lean all the way in.
So good.
Should we just dive straight into that plot synopsis?
Sure. When Nick takes Rachel to Singapore to meet his family at his best friend's wedding, she is nervous but excited.
She quickly discovers that his family wasn't at all what she was expecting. Shenanigans ensue. That's putting it mildly.
That's what I was thinking in my head when I was laughing.
Oh, gosh.
Imagine getting to the airport and finding out your partner is crazy 1% rich because you're in first class.
I would think that I'm still asleep in my bed and I've missed my alarm and now I'm going to miss my flight.
Yeah.
I would be completely unaccepting of the situation.
Like, it's obviously giving modern day fairy tale, but also, like, who's playing a trick on me?
Modern day fairy tale with a side of anxiety.
Yeah. I feel like maybe it's because I'm in New York for so long, but I'm just like, are you connected? Is your family into a nefarious things? One could argue real estate is, but...
It's very interesting to look back on this now, because this is 2018, which when you say it doesn't feel that long ago, but in terms of like lived life, it is. So it's kind of interesting to see how it's emerging to be something of its time, which is noteworthy, I guess.
Yeah. I do remember very specifically that this was in what a lot of people called Asian summer.
Yeah.
It was this, To All the Boys I Loved Before, and one other that I can't recall now, but it was a summer of 3 movies that came out in quick succession that featured primarily Asian casts or Asian leads. I remember it being such a big deal and so exciting.
Yes.
As somebody who self-identifies, half of my background is Asian, I remember thinking for this film, oh God, please, I hope that they nailed it.
Yeah.
If they don't nail this one, Hollywood won't give us another film for like a decade.
It's so stressful.
Yeah.
Anytime someone of a marginalized community does anything, it has to be excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are representing the entire group.
Yeah. there were so few before that. It was like Joy Luck Club and Crouching Tiger.
Yeah.
And so without this film being quite successful, I don't know that we get Everything Everywhere All at Once. You know, it's like these pieces build on top of each other.
Without it, we also wouldn't get Fire Island.
Yeah.
Like, it just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, they may have still made it, but they would have used different people.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, maybe there's a world where these things actually still get made.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's so much harder.
Yeah.
I remember feeling clenched a little bit going into the movie theater, really excited, expecting a lot, but prepared for the worst.
That's so stressful. That's stress you don't need going into a rom-com.
Yeah, and it's so silly. And I know that I have a personal attachment to these things going well because I'm a part of the industry, right? So however this does is like an economic indicator of how my career will look in the next 10 years. You just have to hope that this is good enough so that people don't decide what they did for decades, which is that you can't have more than one Asian in a lead.
Yeah.
Or it then is quote unquote an Asian film. You have to hope that it's good enough to take that from their minds.
Well, luckily, this film did just that. And I saw that the sequel is even in the works. So, yeah.
Man, I really do like this movie a lot.
There's definitely a lot to like about it.
God, I love Michelle Yeoh so much.
Ah, what a queen. What a legend.
She's so scary in this.
She's so great, though. I am so stressed out, but at the same time, just marveling at her acting chops. She's amazing.
I want to simultaneously be nowhere near her and be her.
I don't want to be her daughter-in-law.
No.
But I'll be like her assistant or something.
I don't want to be her assistant more.
No, that would also be hell.
I want to be one of the other aunties.
Yeah. And does Bible study and gossip with her.
Yeah. Perfect.
Fixed it.
Nailed it. Also, this is very funny to me. I don't know why this is a thing. Filipinos always know when there's another Filipino in something. I don't know if it is an innate sense or if it is very much an example of the Asian One Network or whatever he calls it during the gossiping scene. I swear to you, people come see my show and I get DMs that they know. People come over and they're like, Pinoy? And I'm like, yeah.
That's funny.
And I'm only half. They know. And I will happily report that Nico Santos is Filipino.
Yes.
And also that queen that she sits next to during the wedding.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nico, I know from Superstore, of course.
Yes, so good.
And I'd forgotten he does a British accent in the...
It's so funny because I know it's put on.
It's so funny.
I think it's interesting to mention Chris Aquino is the woman who plays the princess. And for anybody who is familiar with Philippine history, the Aquinos are the family in direct competition with the Marcoses and are the family that like got murdered as a result.
Oh my word.
Like anyone who's familiar with Imelda Marcos and her thousands of shoes, like that whole story.
Oh, yeah.
The Aquinos are the family that tried to directly compete with them, and both sides of their children are actually in direct competition still to this day in politics in the Philippines.
Hectic.
Yeah. Wild.
That's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut, but I love it, and I just think that everyone should know it because it's so juicy. I love gossip.
That would make a great movie, picking some part of that feud.
Right? That's why they did Here Lies Love. It did pretty well on Broadway, but like, man, people don't know the half of the drama. Sorry.
No, it's interesting.
We're talking about my people sort of right now. It's like, I gotta tell everybody.
Everybody gotta know this gossip.
Please.
This centuries-year-old gossip and current gossip, I'm sure now too.
Mm-hmm. Especially because Imelda started running for office and Bong Bong, their kid, that's what he goes by, Bong Bong, is president or something. It's crazy. It's all crazy.
This is the thing. History is just gossip.
History is just gossip.
That happened a long time ago.
And it's so much more interesting if you, like, take it in as gossip.
Yeah, if you view it like that.
Who slighted who?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Who killed who? Who married who they weren't supposed to? Ooh. Tea.
Now that I gotten all of that off of my chest and taught you all some silly, stupid shit, We can also go into the tropes.
Yay, some more stupid, silly shit.
Yay!
Yay.
So we've got montages.
So many montages.
We have best friends. Whew, we have a meddling mother.
Oof.
We have a makeover montage.
Yay.
This is a good one, too. We have fish out of water. Boy, do we ever. Literally. Literally, they take a fish out of water.
Oh, yeah, gross.
And we have a dramatic chase.
Gosh, I don't even need to ask. We're starting with montages.
Please.
Yeah.
The gossip montage we were talking about before.
My favorite.
So good.
I love that.
What I love about it is they're spanning the globe. So you see, like, they're over here at dinner. Somewhere in Asia, it's the middle of the day. People are texting. We have people on walks. We have people at the gym. We have people over here. And they're all, like, messaging each other. And then we have the Bible study scene with the mom. She calls her son. And he answers the phone while they're still in the restaurant. They haven't even finished dessert.
Yes, it was great.
It's so satisfying.
Because it spreads so quickly. These girls in the same restaurant as Nick and Rachel overhear them, and they quickly grab a photo of Rachel, and her image just gets blasted across this network.
God.
But it's such a fun sequence how they put it together, because you're hearing all the notifications, you're seeing the bubbles come up, like
Yeah.
the screen is splitting. It's so satisfying.
I thought that was so well done. And then I also wrote down the very quick, that food montage at the outdoor carts.
Oh, yes. The Welcome to Singapore montage.
Oh, that's a good way to call it.
And the food looked so good, and I was so hungry watching it.
Oh, they're going to different carts and just getting whatever it is that they need to get and plopping it down.
Oh,
This appetizer-style feast that they've set themselves up with. Ugh.
my mouth is watering just thinking about the food we saw.
I know. I'm so hungry now. Like I was at the time watching it.
This is low-key a really good tourism ad for Singapore, because it's like, come here, eat the food.
I did not need any more reason. I already wanted to go and eat the food. It's like the Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown where he goes to Singapore. I was like, man, I gotta go there.
The food is so good. So I have the family introduction montages, which
yeah.
didn't go on for very long, but it's Nick explaining to Rachel the context of the cousins.
You're right.
And you cut to like the cousin who's dating this very bad actor, as in she's a bad actor, not a bad person.
Yeah.
And then we have the other cousin who's shown to be very nice to this kid and is buying these very specific earrings that have a whole history.
Yeah.
And then we have one of the other cousins. He and his family are all posing for Chinese Vogue.
And he's so upset.
Yes, because he's like, if you wore
The dress I told you to wear.
yes, then we'd be on American Vogue.
The kids have those really cool mini cars driving around their penthouse.
Yeah.
Wild.
And he's like, everyone, good angles. And everyone just like pops into their perfect position.
And I love that the photographer's like, it's more natural if you move a little bit. And he's like, no, I want you to do it like this. And he's like, well, we're done then. He's like, I gotta get out of here.
Oh, and then we have the meeting of all the guests montage where Rachel has now entered Nick's family home for the first time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you just have her standing in place and her having to explain that her family isn't rich or connected or anything, and just like how overwhelming it is.
Mhm.
And the button of that scene is her like thanking who she thinks is the grandmother.
Oh, gosh.
And they're like, no.
Yeah, it's the nanny.
And I'm also like, Nick, are you not introducing her to any of these people? You just standing there?
Please, you're killing me right now.
Oh. And then we have a sad Rachel montage.
Oh, right. She's not getting out of bed.
And she's not eating.
Yeah.
It's rough.
And then, of course, to wrap it up, the makeover montage, which is so good.
Yay!
A couple of times in the film, Rachel realizes that she brought a nice dress, but not enough for these people. And so Peiklin is extremely accommodating, helps her out.
Yeah.
The first one is for this pre-wedding party. They get an extra dress on her. And then when she realizes how brutal everyone's been, instead of shrinking in the face of all of these women's criticisms, she's emboldened. They have a little scene together. By the end of it, they're going, bok, bok, bitch, you're not a chicken. It's my favorite thing in the whole film. They get her to Peiklin's house again, and they start just trying trying on dresses. Oliver's there. They're trying all sorts of things. A lot of them are insane.
Everyone gets involved.
They put her in the most gorgeous gown.
A gorgeous dress.
It is just beautiful and flowy, and they have these delicate looking flowery things around her neckline, and
it's very romantic, the gown itself.
it's giving Vera Wang. And she arrives, and the other rich snooty women are over there, and she's able to like give them a little what for before she goes in.
Excuse me, please.
You're in my way.
Yeah.
Delicious. Couldn't have asked for more.
Mm-hmm.
And also good for you being like, I read the economic paper written by the princess, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna go sit next to her because everyone else is a coward.
Because the princess had requested to have the seat to herself, but Rachel didn't know.
That's a rumor.
Oh, is it a rumor?
They don't know that that's true.
I thought it was true.
They're just sitting there gossiping. She didn't say shit.
But yeah, I was so proud of Rachel because this is coming off of the mum being like, you will never be good enough for my son.
Yeah.
Basically just saying, get out, leave. And this is the way she's standing up for herself by showing she can hold her own and she's not going to back down and she's not afraid.
Yeah. And there are people who very reasonably would say, I'm out.
Yeah.
When you marry a person, you marry the family too.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be realistic. Is it worth this fight?
Yeah.
And the answer might be no sometimes.
Fight every day of your life.
Yeah. It was so lovely to like watch the two guys on the side as well, and to have Nick say, I think that she's probably sitting in the back. My mother didn't save her a seat. And to see the best friend, it's his wedding, and he's still aware enough to say, no, she's right there up front. You've got yourself a fighter. It's really fun. It's nice that they acknowledge and see that she's someone special.
Yeah.
She's an inspiration. I think that's all the montages.
I think so. I think I'm going to go with the dramatic chase.
Yay!
So Nick did actually do something really great, which was to fly Rachel's mum out to help her go through all this turmoil.
Gosh, yeah.
And the two of them decide, all right, we're done with Singapore, it's time to leave. And Nick chases her down. And what I actually believe about like the shenanigans of him getting on an actual plane is that he is rich. He would definitely be able to afford to buy a plane ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Just to go get the goal. Like 100%.
I also think, realistically, given everything that happened and the fact that he brought the mom out, I would be shocked if he didn't offer to pay for the plane ticket back, so he knows what plane they're on.
Yeah.
And then I think he was going to let her leave peacefully until his mother came and gave the ring. And now he's like, oh, I have a reason to go chase her down.
Yes.
I gotta go.
And it's a very cute scene where Rachel and her mum are trying to get to their seats and he's in the other aisle, still stopping to help some of the passengers because he fully is in the way.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And what was so lovely about the end of the scene is that when he re-proposes, it's with his mother's ring. And for Rachel, that's a big deal because it means that the mother's blessing is accompanied by this.
Yeah, because she commented on the ring during the dumpling making session. It's something that holds great value to her. The husband isn't dead or anything. He's on a business trip.
Yeah.
So this is still very much her actual wedding ring. And the fact that she gives it up is something.
Yeah. And the history behind it.
Yeah.
The fact that the grandmother didn't think the mum was good enough for her son and wouldn't give her ring. So the husband had to go get a ring especially for the mum because of this. So the fact that she's now using the ring that was gotten out of necessity to give her blessing,
Yeah.
that was really moving to me.
After everything that happened, really, really beautiful.
Yeah. And it's a gorgeous ring.
Ugh, I'm so excited for the second one being in pre-production.
Yes.
Woo!
Is there another trip you want to talk about?
Man, the fish out of water and maybe also just looping in the meddling mother. Some of the highlights from both of those, because man, she is really put through it in this film.
It's rough. Ugh. I feel so sorry for her.
I don't think the film necessarily drags too heavily, but I will say the drama that they put her through, the character arc, all of the hurdles she has to jump over on her path towards her being given the blessing of everyone, it makes it feel sometimes like you're watching a 3-hour film, even though it's only 2.
Yeah.
It's just a heavy film.
Because after we finished watching this, I was really angry at Nick, and I still am.
Yeah.
For me, I was so angry at him for not prepping Rachel at all and springing this on her at the airport and then still not even really explaining what's going on. She wasn't properly kitted out for outfits and stuff for the kind of events she was attending. And he gave her no warning, no prep. And I was thinking a lot about, like, in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, they were both using each other, and the stuff that they did to each other, which, while terrible, they weren't in a relationship and they didn't owe each other anything.
Yeah.
In this, they've been in a committed relationship for a year. And he's not looking out for his partner. That really upset me.
I'm trying to figure out what it is that made him think it wouldn't be a problem. Is it knowing that Astrid, his favorite cousin, was able to make it work? Is it that
he's just clueless and didn't consider it?
Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable explanation. Does he think that if he leads with his money, people are going to like him for the wrong reason?
I understand not leading with the money. Like, I totally get that. But when he asked her to go to Singapore for the wedding,
at this point,
it's done.
Yeah.
You know it's happening. In terms of story, I'm wondering why they had to include him throwing her in the deep end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then it just makes me not like him that much. Like, I feel unsafe, and I don't know how that's really serving the story. When she's telling him it was so awful, the bachelorette party, and they put a dead bloody fish in her bed. That's so unhinged.
They literally gutted a fish and put it in bed. It's insane.
It's so beyond, I don't even know.
And this is already after that one other woman pretends to be friends with her and then manipulates her. Like, it's all brutal.
Just to drop in her, oh, Nick and I used to date. I'm sorry your ex is there and you didn't think to, like, tell me, even if there's nothing there. Just prep me on the plane. It's a 19-hour flight.
Crazy.
And then for him to say, like, please tell me that's all that happened. The dead fish. The dead, stinky, bloody, giant fish in her bed.
I hate that scene because nobody acted appropriately. That is an insane thing to do, and everyone needed to be a lot more upset.
Yeah, with, like, writing on the wall, gold digger or something. You can still have the gossip and them, you know, making snide remarks, because some of that insidious stuff can be way more cutting.
Yeah.
But to go straight from, like, oh, we besties on this bachelorette to here's a dead fish in your bed was just
wild. The first time Rachel meets the grandmother, it's actually quite sweet.
It is.
The grandmother wants to get to know her, quote, away from craning necks. Then later says, let me get a better look at you. What an auspicious nose. And then to have it come falling apart because Eleanor is an ass and hires a private investigator. Not only does the grandmother turn on her and say she's not fit to be a part of the family, but also Rachel has to find out in real time that her mother's history and her father are not who she thought they were.
So traumatic.
That's so upsetting.
And that Eleanor is not clocking at all. She's just thinking so ill of this girl.
Yeah, that she manipulated and lied about it?
No, she literally didn't know.
Rachel's literally finding this all out right now.
That was a rough scene. Poor Rachel is just going through the most. I think at times that took away from the fun of it.
Yeah, it feels really serious.
Like, I just felt so sorry for this girl. It just feels so brutal.
Like, this is a really, really good movie that I almost don't want to categorize as a rom-com.
I see that.
There's so much pain involved.
There's so much suffering, generational suffering.
Yeah.
And also, the couple is together together at the start of the movie. So in many ways, it's not a rom-com in the traditional sense.
Yeah, I am happy that we know that the mother could have reached out to this previous boyfriend. Also, we've set up that Astrid is now newly single.
Yes, queen.
And if those aren't two of the main plot points for the second film, I'm gonna lose my mind. I want those two to be happy.
Yes, they deserve to be happy. I'm so glad they didn't kill Rachel's biological father off.
Yeah.
So there's hope.
There's hope. God, I want that for both of them. I want them both to get happy endings.
Yes, they deserve it. Queens.
We have hit in these tropes a lot of the shenanigans if we want to now transition. Shenanigans!
Oh gosh, so this film is so clever in so many ways. I thought it was so funny that Eleanor's reading a passage from the Bible that I'm paraphrasing, but says something to the effect of, set your mind on things above, not below. And the aunties immediately start gossiping because one of them's gotten a text message about what's going on with Nick and Rachel.
I love it's so good.
So funny.
Oh, delicious. I love just the opening sequence.
Excellent.
They literally show a flashback of racism that the family is dealing with when they're visiting some other country. And man, imagine going outside, calling your husband, and then just quickly buying the hotel.
Yeah.
Queen shit.
So satisfying.
Incredible.
Because she's made a reservation a while in advance, and the front desk people are like, no, I'm sorry, we all full. So what does she do? She goes out in the rain to use a phone booth because they won't even let her use their phone. Cut back in. She's bought the hotel.
Yeah, the custodian of the hotel has come down from his apartment within.
Amazing.
And it's like, the Youngs, the new owners of the hotel.
Do clean up this water.
The fact that she didn't fire them on the spot, you should be so lucky.
It's so good.
I'd have fired you.
Another shenanigan at the top that I appreciated just because attention to detail. Nick and Rachel are sharing some sort of pastry in a little bistro, and she's complaining like he always says just order one and then he eats the majority of it, so she orders the second one. And then when Nick is on the phone with his mum, you see Rachel in the background like
Scarfing it down. Yeah, it's so funny.
It was so funny.
He returns, she's like, I left you a bite. He's like, I see, a bite.
A literal bite.
Love that. Oh, when Nick and Rachel arrive in Singapore and the friends come to pick them up, I love how extra they're being. She's got this insane amount of balloons.
Oh, so many balloons.
And I was like, girl, why did you get all of these balloons? Because they immediately cut to the vehicle they drove to pick them up, which is essentially like a Jeep style thing that doesn't have a roof. How did you even get them there in the first place? And why did you get the balloons? You don't have a roof on your car.
I don't know.
These balloons are a hazard.
And what is she going to do with them? Also with that scene, Singapore is not that big. Why did you not take these poor people who have been on a plane for 19 hours just to go to their hotel and change? It's so humid there. There's no AC. Those clothes will be stinky.
That's the other part that I didn't buy as well. Again, you don't have anything closing in this car. Their suitcases are just sitting there in the car while you go eat.
I mean, it's safe enough to do that there, but like, why take the risk?
It's not about safety. It's about access and availability. People could just steal shit. I guess the rich aren't really concerned with being a target. They'll just buy more clothes.
I suppose, yeah. Or they're paying someone to like watch the clothes.
I have no idea. It's very confusing to me.
Why aren't we just not going to the hotel?
I don't know.
Understand. You need showers. This also bothered me with Rachel going to her best friend's house in the afternoon, I guess, for lunch before she has this party in the evening in the dress that she's going to wear to the evening thing. It's so humid in Singapore. You are sweating through everything. Your makeup is melting off. You would not be going from your friend's house directly to the party in the evening. You'd be going to change and shower.
Well, it's a good thing she changed anyway.
Yes. so silly.
Oh, speaking of going to your friend's house,
Yeah.
while they're at Picklin's house, everyone's reaction to Nick's name is so insane. That's how you're finding out that he's not just rich, he's ruling family rich.
Yeah. Nick Young, that's the Nick you've been seeing?
Everyone loses it. Oh, it's so good.
Another small detail is Picklin explaining to Rachel how rich Nick is by using a map on one of her handbags.
That's so funny.
It was so silly and dumb and just delightful.
So many moments like that. They really nailed it.
Mm.
Ken Jeong is in it too, and he's just playing the same character he plays in everything, which is just like a guy you love to hate.
Just chewing away at that scenery.
Love that guy so much.
Coming in just like fucking with Rachel from the beginning by putting on this really, really heavy Asian accent, pretending not to speak English very well,
like so dumb.
and then just being like, "Nah, I'm just messing with you." Like, why, bro? And then shouting at the twins to like finish their nuggets because there's starving children in America.
So funny to me.
So funny.
Part of me is like, please, someone tell me that was not scripted. He was just saying some weird shit.
I'm sure they just let him loose at some parts and everyone just had to react to it.
Yeah, you could trust that he's about to do something funny and great.
Yeah. So we also have Nick's favorite cousin Astrid, who is just amazing. And she is married to this guy who is very insecure about the fact that his wife is beautiful and rich and kind and put together.
Insane.
So insecure. To the extent that he blames her for him having an affair. He's like, I just had to do something to be seen.
Imagine sabotaging your own life because of your personal insecurities.
Yeah.
Wild.
Awful.
She's done nothing but try to be supportive and not rub the money in your face.
Yeah. And where I'm getting with this is to like an actual shenanigan and not more sad stuff. Is when she gets home, before her husband gets there, she goes to the staff, you know what to do, and they like scurry around hiding all of her shopping in specific places.
That's such a bummer. You shouldn't have to hide it. So what? Your family's rich. Spend your money.
Yeah, it's not like you're a shopaholic.
You can afford it.
You are not going to get yourself into debt, and it's part of your image,
Yep.
you know, that you have to maintain.
And you can tell she's such a good mom.
Yeah.
They immediately cut to her in bed with the kid, reading a book to him. Not only is that other guy an idiot for sabotaging his own perfectly nice life and beautiful, loving wife, but he is about to go hook up with his mistress at the expense of his child's birthday.
Yes.
Like, this guy is trash.
Missing his son's birthday. That's crazy.
I'm glad they made it very clear how much of a trash bag he is, because then it's just like, yeah, this is not her fault. None of this is her fault.
No, she was doing her best. Oh, we quoted part of the scene at the top of the episode, but I just want to talk a little bit more about
God, so good.
Picklin's garment bags that were ready to go.
I love Aquafina's ability to deliver things.
So funny. And labeled really big so she can't get confused for the different occasions. One including a one-night stand. Girl, what do you have in there?
Oh, a walk of shame? I was crying.
Is it just a comfy fit?
Like, you
for
can't...
the next day? Or...
You can't do a walk of shame. If you've changed, it's no longer a walk of shame. I don't understand.
Exactly. That's what made it so funny to me.
We'll never know what was in that bag.
I want to know. I gotta know.
I also would love to talk about these insane fucking bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Oh my goodness.
The bachelor party is a rented container box ship.
Yeah, with the groom's name painted on the side.
They're gonna have like a 3-day long rager on this ship. And I love that like the groom and Nick are just like, we gotta get the hell off this boat. And they go find a quiet beach to sit on. He's not even at his party.
No, and I don't think anyone missed him.
Especially not the guy who threw the party for him.
But I'm like, if you know your cousin is like this, and he's not even the best man, why did you let him plan the bachelor party?
I don't know.
Was it because you knew he was gonna do it anyway? Like,
Maybe it has to do with what Oliver says at the end. This guy's an only child. He's inheriting it all. He has the most disposable income in a land of disposable income. Let him rent an entire container ship.
But it's not even something the groom wants. So, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
They all flew over there in a fleet of helicopters.
Insane.
And meanwhile, by the ladies, they have an all-expense-paid shopping spree within 5 minutes.
Yeah. Big spa day.
And I'm like, all these girls are so wealthy and they're busy tearing each other's hair out.
And they don't need to.
No.
I assume that they rented out the entire private tiny island.
Yeah, they did.
It's crazy.
Well, they're crazy rich.
That they are. And then everything that happens, like leading up to the fish stuff, the manipulation. Thank God for Astrid showing up.
Yeah. No one tells poor Rachel anything.
Nothing.
Like, the biggest culprit of this is Nick, of course. But her mum also didn't tell her the truth about her dad, which I can understand. But it's just like, no one tells poor Rachel anything.
No. I really want to know why she thought it was a good idea to bury the fish on the beach instead of just calling for management.
Right? I mean, she had to, in any case, get clean sheets.
Yeah, it's covered in fish guts.
It wasn't just a closed-up fish. The fish was gutted.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
You're not going to cause a scene necessarily. Like, it seems weird that you wouldn't call them.
I mean, they're going to see it anyway.
Yeah, this isn't your problem, you know?
I am the biggest avoider of conflict, but even I will be like, in this instance, stand up for yourself a little bit.
Yeah. And then with the insane shows of wealth, also, could we talk about that ceremony?
Oh my gosh.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
It's like you're in a jungle inside.
But so impractical.
Why are you making the bride and all of the bridesmaids walk through shallow water?
With long dresses. You're ruining all the dresses.
Are you walking barefoot? I didn't notice.
I didn't notice either because that's how long the dresses were.
While it's really cool that you created a watertight runway, I don't understand. And then you stand up there with the bottom of your dress wet for the whole ceremony?
Yeah, ruin your pictures.
I don't know.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
It's so cool. Why?
And so dramatic, but why?
I feel like everyone should have walked through it while it was dry. And then like, ooh, look it, now there's water everywhere. Take your magical pictures. They're like on a little island. Look at the rose petals floating in the water. Let them get up there first. What are we doing here?
I didn't really understand the function of it.
I did not either. It was really cool. And then it also laid the perfect scene for their beautiful love eyes at each other. I know it sounds funny that I say it like that. I swear it's actually very sweet. It's super moving.
No, it is very sweet.
And I made it sound dumb. I'm sorry. Sincerely, a beautiful scene.
Oliver has some really great one-liners in this as well. But the one that I wrote down was, "Your skin is so dry, it's hurting my face." This is at the start of the makeover montage.
And he also is like, Eleanor can never know I was here to help.
And then we should talk about one of the final scenes, which is my favorite in the whole film, because it's so beautiful. It's so well acted.
It's the best scene of the whole film.
Oh.
The mahjong scene.
Yeah. Oh.
It's gorgeous.
I don't know how to describe it. Go watch it.
It's a kind of take on a cat and mouse, but the twist of it being the mouse was never who you thought it was. The power dynamics at play lead you to believe that Eleanor is in control.
Yeah.
I mean, they told us at the beginning this was true. If power dynamics are at play, the winner's going to be the game theory educator and professional Rachel and not anyone else.
Because you play the person, not the game.
Yeah, and it's like they started off at the very beginning. They tell you the point of the whole film, essentially. Some people play to win, and some people play to not lose.
Yeah.
In that fear, you hold back. And so there's just this incredible thing that they do. Everything about the mahjong scene is choreographed to a T. It is filled with layers of symbolism. And without any of that context, they make it very clear that while Eleanor wins...
And you see Rachel knows she's giving Eleanor the tile that will allow her to win.
Yep.
And the layers that are happening, because Nick has just proposed to Rachel before this, almost in an act of desperation, so he doesn't lose her, and says, I'll leave my family behind. The two of us can start our life together in New York. And Rachel is telling Eleanor, but I know he will be unhappy because he'll be giving up his family.
Mm-hmm.
And Eleanor says, so you chose for him. And then Rachel has this beautiful mini monologue, which is so moving, where she says she is walking away from Nick, but Eleanor must know that when Nick marries someone else and she's playing with her grandkids, she must remember that it was a nobody who gave Eleanor her happiness, because Rachel's walking away now.
Mm-hmm. The symbolism throughout it all is also really moving. A very basic explanation of how Mahjong goes is there's 3 ways to get a winning hand. You can have 3 tiles in sequential number of the same suite.
Mm-hmm.
You can have 3 of the exact same tile or a pair of the exact same tile. I've looked this up because I thought it was quite interesting and I wanted to know what they were doing in the game. From the very start, Eleanor sits down. She's offered the position of the dealer, which is considered the east seat. So the far east seat of the dealer is Eleanor, making the fact that Rachel's across from her the west.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then throughout the course of the game, Eleanor is trying to complete a Pong hand, which is the one where you get matched tiles. That's her strategy. And while she's putting together her matched tiles, she's talking to Rachel about the fact that Rachel's not from here, that she may be Chinese, but she's not one of them, as she's trying to get matching pairs.
Yeah.
As that's all happening, you can see that Rachel is actually doing sequential things, like kind of this idea of the extended family. And then there's a saying in Chinese that the equivalent saying over here is that banana joke that they make, yellow on the outside, white in the middle. And the Chinese equivalent of that translates to empty bamboo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so as she takes the 8 of bamboo, that tile that then wins the game for Eleanor, that's a bamboo tile that she then passes to her. God, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It is just so beautiful the way that they choreographed all of this symbolism into it. And then as she turns it around, you can see that Eleanor wins by having everything be the same. And then you see that really Rachel was winning the entire time and gave it to her. But she wasn't playing like that. She was playing the diversity hand. The fact that you have one of each in sequential order. Like, it's just everything. And then it loops right back around to the game at the beginning. The mother was playing not to lose, and so she was being controlled the entire time. They even say the thing that is actively happening in their hand.
Yeah.
Only a fool folds a winning hand. And she passes the empty bamboo. Like, there's different ways to lose.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous.
It's so well done. And then when Rachel leaves, she stops at another table and her mum gets up, looks over at Eleanor, and the two of them leave together. Oh, it gave me chills. It was so good.
Oh, God, it's all so beautiful.
It's so layered and nuanced. It was a really, really beautiful scene.
Yeah. I'm not an expert in Mahjong by any means. I don't play. I don't know the rule set. I had looked this all up because I thought it was so fascinating and I knew there must have been something underneath it.
Yeah.
But if you look up articles or videos for it, it's just gorgeous.
I'll post something on stories linking to a bit of an explanation of what went on in the game.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else or otherwise?
No, I think it's time.
Yay.
Fun,
Fun,
fab,
fab, fail. For me, it's a fun.
I think outside the context of a rom-com, this movie is a fab for me, but it's a fun rom-com, if that makes sense.
That's a good distinction to make.
Yeah, I think this film in isolation is fab. I think in terms of a rom-com, you're maybe not gonna get what you wanted from the rom-com.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy.
It's a little heavy. I'm a little pissed at Nick. I feel really sad for Rachel.
Yeah.
And for it to have been a fab rom-com, I think the mishaps with the fish out of water stuff needed to, lean in.
Be more fun and less sad.
Yeah, had to lean a little bit more in to the hijinks, the silliness, the equivalent of, toilet paper on the shoe. I'm not saying that specifically, but less
threats on your life in the form of a gutted fish.
Yes. And like having a partner who, not maliciously, but through just being a bit ignorant, didn't take care of you in a way I would hope a partner would take care of you.
Yeah.
When you know what your mother is like.
She got set up for failure for sure.
Yeah. I wonder, in terms of rom-com specifically, if it might have worked better if we see them meet and start to date and, a little bit of that montage.
Oh,
and then very early on, for whatever reason, they have to go to Singapore and they've only been dating like a month.
Yeah, for rom-com specifically.
But it's still a beautiful movie.
It'd be hard then because, like, obviously I don't think that a relationship that's only a month long can survive this.
Although that hasn't stopped some rom-com couples
I know.
from getting engaged within 3 days. But I mean, we do complain about that too. So,
But that's the difference. Like, those are excellent rom-coms and nonsensical movies.
Not rooted in reality at all.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, A Christmas Prince.
Oh man, this was hella grounded, which made it real hard to watch for fun times.
It was very rough.
Well, I don't think that needs any more explanation.
No, I think you get it.
That means it's time
for Give
me the cheese, please. Okay.
Alrighty. Ooh, I struggled with this.
Did I go first last time?
I think you went first last time, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
3, 2,
1. Cheese
Kefir.
samosa.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay, so I have a cheese samosa, which is a modern play on the very traditional filling of a samosa, which is typically a curried mince or curried potato or curried chicken. Some sort of curry is filling the samosa. A cheese samosa, other than the fact that it's playing into Give Me the Cheese, Please, is a modern twist, and it somehow works. I mean, it's pastry with cheese. Like, what could really go wrong? But you could be quite upset if you are expecting a curried filling and you get a cheese filling, even though it's delicious. It has to be hot, otherwise it doesn't work. I will still eat a samosa with a traditional filling that's cold. It's preferable if it's hot. The cheese congeals. It's nasty.
And also just the aspect, I'm sure you're going to get there. This is not a nice surprise.
No, it's not.
It's perfect.
I was going to get there. It's not a nice surprise.
Sorry.
I'm not happy about it. The unpleasant surprise is me being really upset about Nick.
Yeah.
You springing this on me. Hand me a samosa and tell me it's a cheese samosa. Delightful. I'm going to have a great time. Love it. Crispy, cheesy, delicious. But just hand me a random samosa and it's like, yeah, Jane, have a samosa. And I take a bite and it's a cheese samosa and you haven't warned me beforehand. Warn me about things.
Yep.
I'm discovering I'd like a heads up. Just a little heads up goes a long way. So this relationship can work. It's going to need some tweaks and adjustments, but I think it can work.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's why Crazy Rich Asians to me is a cheese samosa.
Yay, love it. I went with kefir, which for people who don't know is something of a drinking yogurt is kind of how you could describe it. I was trying to think of something that was like cheese adjacent because this is almost not rom-com-y in a lot of ways for me, but it's still fermented milk product. Something fun that I realized when I was looking this up is that kefir can actually be linked to the Bronze Age of Western China. They found it in graves.
Whoa.
Yeah. A lot of times it is attributed to that area of the Russian-Asia border, like that in-between Eurasian area. And so the thing about kefir, it is very smooth, which I thought this was an expertly written and put together film. It is nutritious. It has a lot of the things that you need, which I think in terms of like a film as a standalone really is true of this film. The lessons that you get from it are quite beautiful. The legacy of family and generational trauma that these people are working through is quite useful information.
Yeah.
It's things that we should be aware of. It's beautiful lessons learned. The thing about it, too, is it can be an acquired taste. You shouldn't tell someone you're just giving them a yogurt. It would be a nasty surprise. It was also very much that for me. The thing about kefir, too, is if you're not prepared for it as a fermented product, it can be quite sour.
Yeah.
I attributed that kind of to the way that the Crazy Rich family members are treating Rachel throughout. It can be a little unpleasant if you weren't prepared.
Yeah.
You know, I struggled to find something that I felt like matched this film, and that was kind of the closest I could get. But yeah, in a lot of ways, this film feels like a kefir.
Yay!
We did it.
We did it.
Well, everyone, there you have it. That was our discussion of Crazy Rich Asians.
Let us know your thoughts on the movie, any shenanigans we may have missed, or what cheese you think it is.
You can follow us on Instagram at shenanigansensuepod, or you can email us at shenanigansensuepod@gmail.com.
We hope you'll join us next time, and until then,
Wherever you are in the world, that's where I belong.
Bye!
Bye!
60 episodes.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I think that's more movies than I've watched in the last decade.
Yeah.
We spoke about how we're more series girlies.
I am a series girly. Rom-coms just hit different. Aw, this was delightful.
Lovely.